There is a lot of information on the internet of what people need to do for their endocrine system, basically your stomach. Because a lot of times you guys look up 10 years done pass and you realize you're getting a big stomach, you're losing your butt, and you're trying to lose your stomach, and then you turn to the internet and everybody's telling you, try this, try that. Today I'm going to show you guys, and so you guys can understand what you need to do for your particular body and what kind of workout you need to do for your particular body. Because a lot of people think there's just one exercise. I've seen a lot of people doing it. They grab the weight in their hand and they do it from side to side. That's for people who abs is already developed, not for people who are trying to burn fat. This is not a fat burning workout. So today I want to break down what you need to do to lose your stomach and make sure that you're not losing your butt at the same time your stomach is getting big. Let's discuss it. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, I want the body that I used to have, or I want to look like how I think I should look? But every time you go ask somebody for advice, they always pushing you in the direction that only works for them, but never seems to work for you. Today I want to break it down so you can understand what's going on with your body, what you need to do to help your situation so you can look the way that you truly need to look. So, as you guys can see by the title, a lot of people end up getting it could be a number of reasons why you end up with a big stomach, and at the same time, it's that you're going through a catabolic stage. You ever look at some people from Africa, the kids from Africa. You always see them with a big butt, and a lot of people used to look at them and say, well, that's starvation. No, that's your body way of survival. It could be a simple fact that the type of food that you're eating to kick your body into survival mode. But it could also be some of these things on the list that's preventing you from looking the way you want to look. So today, let's break it down, and hopefully by the end of this video, I could help you guys get a better solution and how to solve this issue. So let's jump right in. So before I jump into this list, let me just say one thing. If genetically your great-grandparents or your grandparents or your mom and dad look a certain type of way, please don't say, well, I have to look completely opposite of this person or that person in my family, when genetically it's going to be almost impossible. You're going to end up taking a lot of drugs just to look a certain type of way that you were never meant to look. There are certain things and certain tricks you can do to actually have the illusion having a smaller waist, but please don't try to say I have to have a six-pack abs when genetically it's impossible. With that being said, let me jump into this list. One thing I've always heard is, well, my back hurts, so I can't do this exercise, I can't do that exercise. So one of the exercises I'm going to actually show you guys how to do, what I actually do every single morning, is an exercise to actually, you need no way to do it, and it's a perfect exercise to actually help you to burn the fat around your stomach. But I will show you guys that at the end of the video. Now, if you have any kind of tumor, especially in your adrenal gland, you will end up with a bigger stomach and a smaller butt. That is actually life-threatening. That is something that you have to take care of. And yes, the doctors and everybody are going to tell you, you have to work out, you have to exercise. But trying to lose your stomach, and keep your butt big, that should be the least of your problems. And there's nothing you can do to actually, make your butt get bigger and make your stomach goes down because of all the drugs and all the other things they're going to be giving you at the hospital to get rid of your tumor. So that is more important, and that's something that you got to work on first. Now that we're talking about drugs, let's talk about another one, birth control. Birth control is a steroid. I don't know what nobody thinks or what everybody's telling you, but it's actually CBG. CBG is actually a steroid. It controls your estrogen. It raises your estrogen level. Like if a woman is pregnant, she have a high estrogen level. CBG actually break down protein, raises your estrogen level, so you're automatically going to have a big stomach. So ladies, if you're on birth control, but you're fighting this thing about having a six-pack abs, it's never going to be the way you want it to be. Yes, you could work out and get it down flat, but if you're on birth control, and I know some people just need it for a multitude of reasons, but if you're on birth control, it's going to be almost impossible. And what a lot of people are not telling you guys about birth control is it actually end up raising your cortisol level. And having a high cortisol level is the number one factor of having Cushing's disease, which once you have Cushing's disease, this is automatically the way you would look until you take care of that situation. No matter how much workout you do, how much, how fast you move and how much fat burning pills you take, if you have Cushing's disease, you have to take care of that before you even start to even think about looking like this, because it will never happen. One of the things too people need to look at too with high cortisol level is the fact that this happens mostly to overweight people, and you think that you look at your cellulite on your legs or on the back of your arm and you say, man, I have cellulite. Most of the times it's really not cellulite. Most of the time it's because you're losing muscle fiber because you have too much fat. And there is a way to take care of that, but I'll talk about that later on. Let me just focus on this list first. High stress. Everybody should know this. If you're stressed out, you can go to the gym all you want. It would help you mentally deal with your stress, but overall, you have to take something like ashwagandha, or mega root to actually help you deal with the stress so you won't end up looking like this, because your body will end up eating away at itself because of the stress. So please remember that. Whatever is stressing you out, you have to find a way to get rid of that stress. Menopause. When a woman goes through menopause, muscle decreases, body changes, hot flashes, night sweats, so the body will start changing. Sitting down too much. If you go to work and you have a job that you have to sit down 70% of the time, you're always on your butt just sitting down, it's almost going to be impossible for you to actually end up looking like this, because you got to remember, you're sitting on your butt a lot. So basically, you're compressing the muscle and no blood flow is going into it. So you have a situation where a lot of people end up saying, oh, their butt falling asleep. If you're ever in a situation where you feel like your butt falling asleep, that's when you know this stage is starting to happen to you. A lot of us have smart watches that tells you to stand up a certain time or move around for a certain time. Please listen to it, because if you don't, you can end up looking like this. Or another thing too is just being inactive because of whatever reason. Because of your age, you just don't move around a lot. You always hear about people saying when they retire, they just lose something, and either they end up, I don't want to say the D word, but they end up suffering from it because they're retired, they're not more active, they end up getting fat, and a lot of other bad symptoms happen to them because they're not inactive. So you have to stay active. No matter what you do, either you're working at home or your gym, you were born to be active. So please remember that. Now, let me break down what you could actually do. Now, these are some of the symptoms and some of the problems that you can have, but let's dive into it, break it down, and then I'll show you guys the supplements, what I recommend and the workout that I recommend. First thing to understand is protein turns into amino acid. So if you're taking protein or you're taking your amino acid at the same time, you don't have to worry about your body breaking down the muscle. Your muscle is protein. Protein breaks down into amino acid. Then it breaks down into glucose. Then it breaks down into high cholesterol. Then you end up in a catabolic state because your body's eating away at itself. Then it breaks down into fat because there's no muscle there. And then your body starts eating away at itself. That's why you see a lot of people, if you ever turn on your TV and look at one of those countries You see somebody with a big stomach, and you're like, man, they're not even eating a lot. Why they got a big stomach? Because they end up in a catabolic stage. And once you do that, your muscle, amino acid, and it end up turning into fat, into sugar first. I should have wrote sugar here. Then after it turns into sugar, it breaks down into fat, and you end up looking like this. Now, what can you actually do? Let's talk about that. Let's go in the other room, and I'll show you guys a supplement and break it down exactly what you need to do to help you in your situation. All right, guys, please remember, I'm not your doctor. I'm not your healthcare provider. I'm just giving some recommendation of some of the things that I've used over the years that I've seen to work and I've used on myself, and it actually worked. A lot of times people will recommend products that they never tried, never even tried. They look it up on the internet. They see that, one of the side effects is this or one of the side effects is that. So, hey, go ahead and try. Let's see how it reacts to you. And then you end up in the hospital and you'll be like, man, I should have never tried that. So you have to read the fine print. Like, there's this one thing out there to actually help you lose your stomach really fast. And it's actually a water pill. I'm not going to say the manufacturer's name because I don't want to end up in a legal situation. But it's a water pill. It drains the water from your system really fast, so it helps you burn the fat really fast. So what do you think are the side effects from that? The number one side effect from it is actually drains the water from your system, your entire system. So it actually drains the water from your heart. And because it's, so you might end up with bad heart or disease or anything like that later on in life. And another thing what it's doing to you, because you're losing the water and the fat so fast, your skin cannot bounce back. So you end up with flabby skin, or your face being flabby, or your stomach being flabby, because you done push yourself by taking this drug to actually drain the water from your system too fast, and the rest of your system cannot keep up with it. So be careful and stay away from quick solutions. It should take you about 3 to 6 months for you to see any kind of changes that's going on in your body. That is the healthy way of doing it. So let me just jump right in. Prednisone, one of the things I mentioned on that list, it's an inflammatory supplement. So if you're taking prednisone, you might want to ask your healthcare provider, your doctor, about switching to something like ashwagandha. I spoke to ashwagandha about this already. So it's not only good for prednisone, it's also good for high stress. So if you're going through high stress, ashwagandha is the number one thing you should take. As I said before, my last video was about ashwagandha, so I'm just going to go over this briefly. Let's say you break up with somebody. What you want to do is make sure you go get the organic form of ashwagandha. Just take it. Go to sleep. Wake up. Take it again. After 2 days of being on this, you will feel a difference. Now, everything that's going on in your life, you're going to be aware of it. You're going to be alert because it's a herb. It's not a drug. But you'll be able to deal with it better, and your body won't suffer from it. So please remember that. But let's keep on going. One of the things too is magnesium. If you look on the internet, a lot of people will tell you, and this is really good to help you keep down the catabolic state and keep your stomach flat. If you look on the internet, people are going to tell you 400 milligrams of magnesium is what you need per day. That's the recommended dose. The recommended dose doesn't apply to you if you're trying to change your body structure. It applies to, your mom could take 400, but if you're trying to change the body structure, you're going to need more. So what I would recommend, or what I did, was I started taking magnesium oxalate and a magnesium glycinate, both of these together. So this one here I take at night, 400, actually this is 500 milligrams. 500 milligrams per night, and I take this during the day 3 times per day. So between a combination of both, and yes, you guys got to understand, when you look at the bottle and you see the recommended dose, this is the low amount that you need. 400 is on a low dose, is what you need per day. So please be aware of that. There's 2 different types of magnesium. No, actually, I'm actually lying. There's actually 5 different types of magnesium that you need to be aware of. So you need to know which one. 3 of them will help you sleep better at night. And magnesium glycinate, this will actually help you. It doesn't help you sleep, but it helps you replace your system throughout the day. So be careful what you take and make sure you know the difference. I'm not going to talk about that one. That's not on the list. Potassium. Potassium, you need about 4,700 milligrams of potassium per day. And you might think that's high, but potassium is one of those things where once it's in your system, you'll realize the benefits of potassium. Now, this one right here, 2 pills is 1,000 milligrams. I will put down below all these links for all these products I'm talking about as usual, so you guys could, look it up and do your own research. And before you purchase it, don't just go out and buy it. Do your own research first to understand how it's going to work for you. But please remember, these are herbal supplements. Nothing bad happens from herbal supplements. You just got to make sure that you're doing it for the right reason, and that you're eating the right amount of food, and you're not drinking alcohol while you're taking supplements and thinking that it's actually going to work. It doesn't work that way. But potassium, you need about 4,700 milligrams per day. 2 pills of these is 1,000. I try to stay about 5 pills a day, and that's what I do to actually keep my endocrine system working the way it's supposed to work. So, next thing is, as I said before, stress. Make sure that you try to eliminate the amount of stress that your body is going through. Sleep. You got to make sure you sleep. And there's a lot of when it comes to sleep, you got to remember. I'm not going to go into this too much, but the position that you sleep in, if you're sleeping on your stomach, that's a bad move. You need to sleep on your back or on your side. But if you're sleeping on your stomach, you're not really getting, your stomach will end up in a catabolic stage because of how you sleep. So let me now take you guys to the next room. All right, guys, so I just want to end this video with a simple workout routine. In the beginning of this video, I spoke about people getting the weight, they hold it in their hand, they put it to their side, and they do like this. That is only building about 15% of the muscle in your stomach that you can be building, because you're just leaning to the side and you're leaning up. Your body and your muscle is in a rotation. So just try this at home. No weights. I do this every single morning before I leave out to work. Put one hand here, one hand on your head, and just simple, go down and touch. And you will feel the difference, So just do it first, no squeezing, no anything. From side to side, touching. Do 10 like that first. And then for the next 10, what I want you guys to do, every time you go down, you blow out and you squeeze and hold it. And when you're coming back up, you're still squeezing your stomach, squeezing this part of your stomach while you're coming up. It's not about just doing the positive part of the workout. A lot of times people go in the gym and they just focus on the positive and the negative. Like you're in the gym and you're bench pressing. A lot of times people will grab the bar, right? And what they do, they'll come down really fast and then try to go up. You have to control the weight coming down. Whatever you're doing, whether it's your back motion, your shoulder, you control going up, and you don't just drop the weight. You control it up, you control it down. The same thing with your abs. Put one hand here, one hand here. Don't worry about the control first, because you're going to realize how quickly and how better it actually feels, and it burns more. One hand here, twist, touch your knee, touch your knee, touch your knee. Once you develop that and you can do it, then you start squeezing and blowing out. Squeezing, blowing out. Make sure you're breathing throughout the exercise. Try that. Let me know how it works out for you guys. One of these days, I'm gonna make a workout video, but it's not time for that yet. See you guys in the next one.